In a world that often tries to silence truth, some voices refuse to be quiet. Assata Shakur, revolutionary, writer, and freedom fighter, used her words like fire and medicine. Her quotes don't just echo through history. They challenge us, wake us up, and remind us that liberation begins within. In this video, we dive into her wisdom, unpacking her words, understanding her vision, and carrying the torch she lit for justice, resistance, and self-love. Let's go. 1. We need to be weapons of mass construction, weapons of mass love. It's not enough just to change the system. We need to change ourselves. This quote flips the idea of destruction into something healing and creative. Weapons of mass construction and mass love symbolize people that rebuild, uplift, and nurture instead of tear down. Changing society isn't just about tearing down oppressive systems, it's also about deep, internal work. Systemic change means nothing if our hearts, minds, and habits remain unchanged. In other words, true revolution starts within. Be a force that builds, not just breaks. Heal yourself as you heal the world. 2. People get used to anything. The less you think about your oppression, the more your tolerance for it grows. After a while, people just think oppression is the normal state of things. But to become free, you have to be acutely aware of being a slave. This quote highlights how dangerous normalization of injustice can be. Over time, we may unconsciously accept oppression as just the way things are. It warns us against complacency and encourages self-awareness. Without recognizing we are trapped, we'll never fight to be free. In other words, awareness is the first step to freedom. Don't numb yourself to what's wrong. Wake up, speak up, and rise up. 3. I don't have to live up to that superwoman myth. I can cry and be human and lean on people who take care of me. That can be very liberating. This quote challenges the unrealistic expectation, especially placed on Black women, of being endlessly strong, self-reliant, and emotionally invulnerable, often referred to as the superwoman stereotype. Shakur is reclaiming the right to be human, to feel, to rest, to need support. Letting go of that burden isn't weakness, it's liberation. In other words, real strength is knowing you don't always have to be strong. There's power in vulnerability and freedom in asking for help. 4. Only a fool lets somebody else tell him who his enemy is. Never let your enemies choose your enemies for you. This is a warning against manipulation and blind allegiance. When you allow others, especially those in power or those with their own agendas, to define who you should hate or fight, you're giving up your own critical thinking and agency. True wisdom means choosing your battles based on your values, not someone else's fear or control. In other words, think for yourself. Don't be led into battles that aren't yours. Know who you are and who you're really fighting for. 5. Hip-hop can be a very powerful weapon to help expand young people's political and social consciousness. But just as with any weapon, if you don't know how to use it, if you don't know where to point it, or what you're using it for, you can end up shooting yourself in the foot or killing your sisters or brothers. Hip-hop, a cultural force born from resistance, expression, and community, has the power to awaken, educate, and mobilize young people, especially around political and social issues. It can be a tool for liberation, awareness, and unity. However, power without direction is dangerous. If artists and listeners don't understand the impact of the messages they put out, or if they internalize and reproduce harmful narratives, hip-hop can become self-destructive. It can harm the very communities it came from by spreading violence, misogyny, or division instead of upliftment. In other words, your voice is powerful, use it with purpose. Choose to build, not break. Speak truth, elevate minds, and protect your people. Art, culture, and influence can be tools for liberation or destruction. Assata Shakur didn't just speak truth, she lived it, through resistance, reflection, and radical love. Her words remind us that the fight for freedom isn't just about confronting the world outside, it's about unlearning, healing, and rising from within. As long as injustice exists, Assata's words will remain both a warning and a weapon of hope. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, stay inspired.